Hey, welcome to Pawsitive Partners. I'm Mike Thompson.
And I'm Tom Heiskell. Good to see you.
Yeah. I'm so ronery. So ronery.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I'm just
why are you lonely?
Just figured it was appropriate for today's topic.
Right, yeah. And today's topic is separation anxiety in dogs. Now, what this is the closest thing in human terms, if a dog's actually got separation anxiety, is a panic attack. And that's anybody who's had one, it's an overwhelming feeling of fear, and it's more than just, I'm lonely and I'm worried. It's actually more like terror, beyond rational, thinking. Your emotions are just for that until it runs its course.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the deal with separation anxiety
with
dogs is that it doesn't necessarily settle down during the day. This could be a feeling that those dogs have all day.
8 hours or 4 hours.
8 hours or 4 hours, whatever it may be. And it also can be other things. So we don't want, just because a dog shows some indication, we don't want to assume that this is separation anxiety and then bring in the big behavioral protocol or go to get the medication, because it could be some other simple things that are going on. So I'll give you some of the symptoms here. And for help, this is not going to be hey, just listen to this 20 minutes here and you'll fix it and you're good. The one thing you can start with is more of a long pamphlet. It's by Patricia McConnell, PhD, and I'll Be Home Soon. Pretty good outline of the behavioral treatment of separation anxiety. Nicole Wilde, W-I-L-D-E, has another good one, Don't Leave Me. And both these are on Amazon or wherever else you shop for books, but they're convenient and they're reasonably priced.
I'd say over half of my dogs have had it.
Yeah, and how often dogs have it is a question. Now, Patricia McConnell says it's rare.
Rare. Huh.
Yeah, that's what she says. But she knows how to treat it. Mm-hmm. And now here's another somebody else that's a very good, knowledgeable person on this is Karen Overall, and she had it's a web PDF interview with the Canine Health Foundation. If you just Google Karen Overall, O-V-E-R-A-L-L, separation anxiety in dogs, Canine Health Foundation. Anyway, Dr. Overall is a veterinary behaviorist, PhD, veterinarian, board certified. Now she puts it, the amount of dogs that have it, between 10 and 30%.
Okay.
So, it's like everything. There are opinions here and there.
Would you say it's, if you took the overall count of dogs, ones that are like kept indoors, those would be higher rate? There's some that roam farms, there's some that are tied out.
Right.
And you're not going to notice the one that is tied out, whether he has separation anxiety. No. You might be pacing around, but it's not going to bother you unless the dog is indoors and then, when he's pacing and chewing up your furniture, then you know you have something and it's a problem. But not all dogs are in the same situation.
Right. And depending on the situation they're in, it depends on how much you're going to see.
If he's outside, maybe he's just watching the traffic or whatever. He's got something to do. Indoors, it's like, I'm bored. I got 4 walls here. Yeah.
Now, boredom and separation anxiety are actually in different categories. And here are some of the indications of possible separation anxiety. Now, you mentioned you had a burner, Ulrich, or you have Ulrich. And when he was a puppy, he grew out of it. His was kind of a mild, moderate, maybe moderate area. And you were able to go home at noon.
Right.
So he had a shorter period of time to be by himself. And,
yeah, but at the top, you know, we live on like a bi-level. And so you got the front door, you come up the stairs, but you got this railing at the top. But the post here, at the bottom of that, he'd chew on that.
And he would also, he went through some of the drywall or something?
Yeah, okay. At the top of the steps, you got this side that has the post. This side is a wall. And so he would sit at the top and just paw it. And so there was a hole in the wall twice that I had to fix, like this big.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, when he gets nervous, I could tell because he's always, you know,
he would
does
use
that.
his paw.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Which makes it easy to train shake.
Oh yeah.
But
right.
But it also tears holes in the wall.
Right. And that's and he was where he was that was related to the door.
Right. He's kind of watching the door.
Watching the door.
And remember, his paws are bigger than my hand.
Yeah. Big.
So he can go through a lot of drywall.
Wow. Yeah. So one of the and I'm just kind of reading off of Patricia McConnell's one of the pages there. Destructive chewing or digging, especially around entrances or exits. So a dog who's got separation anxiety, actual separation anxiety, is going to be focused on those places in the house where the dog can see that you're coming or going, or the door or windows, those kinds of things.
Now, I've seen them at the front door. You can see at the door jamb, they'll just be scratching at that or scratching at the bottom of the door, just kind of digging their way out. I want to follow you. Right.
And the feeling that's in behind or along with that is actually desperation, panic, terror. And that can cause a lot of destruction of property in the house.
Your carpeting and your floors.
Your carpeting, your floor. If dogs are crated, they can injure themselves. They can tear out claws. They can chew, they can damage their teeth, break off teeth, and so forth. And as you're getting ready to leave, you see indications, because dogs know our routines. They start seeing those indications we're going to leave, so they might be whining and pacing as you prepare to leave.
Yeah, if I pick up a particular set of keys, they know either we're going to go on a walk, or these are my work keys and I'm going to work.
And they know the
And if I pick up those keys and I start putting on my shoes, they're either going to go nuts and go to the door, or like one of them knows that she gets put in the crate, she'll go run to the crate and sit and wait for the treats.
Right.
And the other two will go to the treat jar and go,
okay,
we're ready.
All right.
It's treat time, you're leaving.
Yeah, and so they've associated now you leaving with something good happens, and they have routine and so forth.
Right.
Now some dogs even get so desperate that they have jumped out of windows, cut themselves on glass, they've fallen, you know, a number of feet or even a story or 2 stories and really badly injured themselves. So we're talking at the severe level, a level of panic that just goes beyond any kind of thinking for a dog or a human being. It's just like, I'm terrified, and the only thing that the dog wants to do is get closer to their person, and so who knows what they could do.
There's licking too, probably, right?
Right.
Because they'll make a sore place on their front arm or
and trying to comfort themselves. So the other symptoms that you can see are general symptoms of anxiety, but if you see them at a high level, it tells you how anxious, uncomfortable.
Yeah, panting and drooling.
Yeah, panting and drooling. And you can see if a dog is really drooling, which they don't have sweat glands, so how they sweat is with drooling or on the pads of their feet. So if you see a whole bunch of water there, that's drooling. If you see, when your dog comes out of where they're at, you see paw prints across the floor, that is one very, very anxious dog. They can be trembling or shaking. You can have nonstop howling or barking when you're gone, and it's I mean, it has a quality of being, like you said, lonely, but it's, well, I'm lonely and I'm sad. It's, it's a plaintive sort of thing. They maybe won't eat. You can leave the most wonderful treats for them, and they will not touch it all day long, possibly.
Yeah, we would give them bones, rawhides, which some people agree and don't.
Yeah, it just depends on whether the dog,
if they can handle it. But we would throw out some bones, and they wouldn't be chewed until we got home.
Right.
They only wanted to chew these things when we got back.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Mom and Dad are back now. Things
it's
are
like
good.
it's like you put them on pause. Like nothing's going to happen until you come back.
Right. Yeah. So what you want to do is just because your dog is barking, or because they're tearing things up, or because let's say they've soiled in the house or something like that, that doesn't mean that they have separation anxiety. It could be that they're incompletely house trained, or they are having to hold it longer than they physically can, or they could have could have a stomach upset or urinary tract infection or something like that.
Do you remember what your guide was for how many hours a dog could go?
Well, it was like for the age of a puppy, it's like
Is
the
it
number of hours of the age of the puppy, like 3 hours for a 3-month-old puppy, and that's when they're inactive. That's when they're just not doing anything.
Right.
If they're active, then they're going to have to go more often.
Right.
So it's an hour. Number of hours of the age of the puppy up to like 8 hours or so. Now, fortunately, my dog has an iron bladder, so he can go 9 or 10. But I don't like to have him to do that.
Don't want to test it.
Don't want to test that. It probably wouldn't be good for his urinary health too. Just for bladder, it was a good way to get an infection. To keep all that in there.
Right.
So anyhow, just because you see that kind of thing going on doesn't mean necessarily, oh, my dog chewed things up, so he's got separation anxiety. My dog left an accident here, so he's got separation anxiety. My dog barks. Well, it could be all kinds of things going on there. So to see what's going on, you do want to have, if you possibly can, a video tape or an audio tape. Take the $30 or whatever, or take your old phone, set it out there on the stand, put it on the slowest running speed so you've got the most battery that you can possibly get, and get yourself an hour or two or a whole day of what that dog is actually doing. Point it at the kennel and point it toward an exit, because that's where you're going to see what's going on.
I've got a security cam.
Oh, wow.
That's got, this is happening right now. That's Roz in the crate.
That's so cool.
So. And
you can do that. If you talk to one of your younger friends, and they will hook that up to your computer. So, okay, well, we're going to take a little break. I'm Tom Heiskell, and this is Mike Thompson, and we with Pawsitive Partners, and we'll be back soon. Hi, I'm Tom Heiskell. This is Mike Thompson. Mike's the Director of Media Services here at Rio Grande, and I'm a retired private practice clinician who cross-trained with animals and graduated from the Karen Pryor Academy. We're talking about separation anxiety in dogs. So get a video, and you just showed the webcam security camera
So
that
Wi-Fi.
you have. And that's great. That's something, if you've got a computer, you can hook that up, or take an old cell phone, make a video recording, and then you will see. Then you're going to know.
That's her right in the crate, right there. She's relaxing.
And dogs actually have a hormone, and maybe people do too, but when they are in nothing's going on mode, they kind of go into the nothing is going on right now, I'm going to just lie down and chill and go on pause, you know.
And that happens when I'm at home, I think.
Yeah.
When I'm at home, I thought, well, okay, I'll
Dad's
have an
busy.
exciting day with the doggies at home, and 8 o'clock comes where I go to work, and hey, everybody's asleep.
Okay.
So they stick to their routine.
Yeah. And the protocols for treating this are all pretty similar. You mentioned the indications in our patterns that dogs pick up on that we're going to leave, and whether we're going to be going on a walk with them, or whether we're going to work, or maybe how long we're going to be away, and that kind of thing. So the protocols for treating this problem, if the dog has it, and you see it with the video. I should mention another one. For online treatment, this is a person who I did their DVD continuing education course, and her name is Malene, M-A-L-E-N-E, De Martini, or D Martini, D-E, then capital M-A-R-T-I-N-I. And what she does is use like this webcam or something like that, and she will coach you through this treatment protocol. And this coaching helps because it has a high rate of success, very high rate of success.
Now, is this a two-way camera? I mean, mine
yeah,
is.
hers
which
has
where I could speak to them.
She would have it a two-way setup kind of thing. And the protocol does take a lot of discipline and effort to put through. It does work. But we are talking at a minimum of behavioral treatment of 6, 7, 8 weeks. We might be talking months. In severe cases, you could be talking a year.
And that's daily. This is not just every once in a while.
It's a daily kind of thing, and how you set it up takes some planning, takes some arranging there. And if you do the self-help kind of thing, that's great. Talk with your vet, show the vet the video you've got, ask the vet what medication might be helpful to kind of help success along, because the kind of medications that help dogs are the same ones that help people. The selective serotonin uptake reinhibitors like Paxil, Prozac, and so forth, and there are a list of other medications.
One of my ideas was to just take them on a very long walk and then leave, and then they're too tired to be worried about anything.
Exercise helps. In the case of severe anxiety,
nothing's going to do it.
That's not going to do it. But there's also another resource, which is the Ohio State Veterinary School Behavioral Clinic, and they have a veterinary behaviorist there. And so if your veterinarian is not comfortable, or feel like they're not,
I've heard they're very good at Ohio State.
Yeah, very, very, very good. So that's
and check in your own state too.
And check in your own state as well. So the protocol for treatment has to do with first these cues, these signals that we're going to be coming and going. And so when a dog starts seeing that, they start getting wound up. They start going, oh no, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh God.
That's right. And so part of the treatment is you condition the dog to not have to react. So you go through some fake picking up your keys, fake putting on your coat, this, that, and the other. And then, and then you do some how long you're away,
right,
and how far you're away. So when you're at home with these dogs, you get them used to being not constantly at your side. So maybe you have them in another room. You start off, you're at the doorway, then you're just around the door, then you kind of pop in. So you get them used. In other words,
you think acting more aloof, and I've heard about that when you come home, you don't want to make a big deal when you come home. Hey guys, how are you doing? And they all jump around. And
I mean,
I do that.
You want to be, if your dog doesn't have separation anxiety, go nuts, have a good time. If your dog does have separation anxiety, you want to have calm going and coming.
Leave like it's nothing and come like it's nothing.
Just low key, yeah, right. Because if you put a lot of energy into that, you're back, and you put a lot of energy on, oh, daddy will be home soon, mommy will be home soon, that actually doesn't calm your dog down at all. So you got the desensitization to leaving cues, you've got calm coming and going.
And then leave at different intervals.
Yeah, and then how
Be
long
gone
you're
for 5
away.
minutes. Be gone for 15 minutes.
And in these protocols, actually, that is built up in very, very slow stages there. And we'll talk about management in the meantime, because if the dog's really severe, you can't leave them alone. You got to do something else, because otherwise you might do this behavioral treatment, but then you leave them alone, and so you've made one step forward and you're constantly doing 2 steps back.
And I've
So
seen those where you go out the door, and I haven't had one, luckily. They just go ballistic.
Yeah.
They're just bouncing off the walls and barking and going crazy and running around the house.
And that's where you want to have the videos to see if they settle down after, 10 minutes
that like
or
a
20
2-minute
minutes.
thing?
It's a 2-minute thing or something. So then you're managing, and you want your dog to get used to you not being velcroed to you while you're in the house, because if they aren't even comfortable with you being, them being a little off to themselves while you're in the house, they're sure not going to be comfortable when you're actually away. So you start that sort of little bit of an independence training. Now this isn't the hard-hearted breaking the bond idea.
Right.
This is you being consistent. This is you being a calm, trustworthy leader, and you seeing their signals. Now, management.
It's building trust.
It's building trust.
I will be back. I'm not leaving you, and all that.
And building it in little degrees. And in management, if you've got to be away somewhere else, if a dog has what's called separation distress, now they're really distressed about being by themselves, but as long as they have another person there, or maybe if they have another animal there, then that gets them through it. So in that case, you can have maybe leave them with a friend. Maybe there's someone else that's got a dog that's that way, and you can leave them over there. You can take turns. You can take them to doggy daycare, those kinds of things like that. If you have to be away, and you're going to do this treatment protocol, then where you want to leave them is in some part of the house that's different, where you're going to do the training about you being away, and that it's a safe place in one part of the house. And when you absolutely have to be away and they're just going to go through a tough time, then you're going to leave them in another part of the house. So the two are different in their minds.
So the association isn't there.
The association isn't there. They know that when they're in this area of the house where you're going to be coming back, and they can have confidence in that's what's going on in that area. And the other area is an area of the house where you go. It's not you don't put them in the back storage room where you never go, because that's going to make them more anxious. But you put them in some other part of the house where you go from time to time. It's just not going to be the end goal of where you want to leave them once they're doing well.
And doggy-proof the room. Get all those things that you don't want them chewing up.
Right.
Shoes, don't leave shoes around.
Right.
There's also dogs that will eat socks.
Right, and then
socks.
Then they can
that's
get
generally
that right. Oh, that's a good
and
point.
things that they can swallow. Don't leave grandma's whatever around if you don't want it chewed up.
Right.
Because stuff's going to get chewed up no matter what.
Right. And on the matter of if especially if a dog has got a lot of distress going on, and if you have a dog that is this distressed and they're in a kennel, don't have a leash on them, don't have a collar on them, because they can get themselves in spots where they can actually strangle themselves with their collar, with their leash. So you want to put safety as a very high priority.
Right.
With all that being said,
the only other thing I would say, I don't know if you know anything about it, is picking out your puppy. Picking out maybe the calmer puppy that may not have this. If you're starting out, and
well, if I can jump in here,
right.
There are all kinds of thoughts about what causes this. The one, from what I understand, researched idea of what causes this is early weaning. So if a puppy is weaned, taken away from its mom at 5 weeks, or 4 weeks or whatever. You actually want them to be with their mom, with their litter until they're, you know, 7 or 8 weeks old, something like that. You know, you also want to see when they're away. You know, are there some loud noises going on that you don't know about? Is there
garbage truck or something?
Yeah, yeah, or you know, some factor that you can't realize unless you see a videotape. So thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you the next time.
Hope this has helped.
Yeah, I do too.
So we'll see you next month on Pawsitive Partners.
Bye till then. Well, that was good.